Alright, hello everybody. We are getting started on episode 4, floor 4. So here we are at the center relay point at level 3, and here are the stairs. I did a little bit of formation wrangling and some equipment wrangling off the screen, but no huge changes. And let's head on up. The silent coral reefs that shine sapphire. Very cool. Well, here we are in the next area. Very much like, what's it called? Seikaiju no Meikyu, or Etrian Odyssey here in the West. The world of the Great Tree is separated into a bunch of different strata. I don't know if all of them are 3 floors long, but, well, that first one was. So we've transitioned from having kind of a nature and you know, a nature elemental kind of area to an area that's going to be very dependent on water. And so, unfortunately, despite the fact that we just got Komachi, she's actually kind of ice type. Chirno's kind of ice type too, so they're going to be unfortunately a little less useful in this area. But I'm sure that their ice elemental goodness will come in handy later. We'll use them when we have to, but they're going to not be. It's going to be hard for them to damage a lot of the enemies we're going to find. And we're going to find new enemies, too. So, let's move on. Alright, that was nice of them. Put a relay point right near the stairs. That puts 2 relay points effectively really close together, but so be it. We've got a red exclamation point and a green exclamation point nearby. We'll do some exploring, and then we'll see what we find first. Alright, here we are just south of the stairs we came up. We looped around to the east and then south, and we found our first treasure chest. One that doesn't need a key. And we've got an ultra-fast granite keystone. I do love the names in this game for all the items. So, you'll note what I did there. I had Marisa go in first because I know that she uses, what is it, Mystic type? She uses the standard type that all magic attacks are based on, And then once I determined that that enemy was vulnerable to Mystic type, I brought in people that I knew were magic attack types and used them to finish the blow. Those coral gels are actually, or coral gems, are actually pretty good on their physical defense, so you really have to focus on magic attacks for them. And we're going to see a lot more of that as time goes on. So this is fun. Here we are. We hooked south and then west, and we found a blue barrier, very much like the green barriers from the last turn, but we found no switch so far on this level, so we'll have to find that and see if we can figure that one out. But it looks like it leads to a down staircase to one of the hidden areas in level 3. And we'll find out more soon. Alright, here we are at so far, the far southwest portion of the level. We've kind of meandered around a bit. So far, this level hasn't been too loopy. Things haven't, closed in on themselves that much. That might just be our luck on the way that we explored, but we found a treasure chest, and inside, we've got a strange mechanical part ×2. So, maybe we'll be able to make something out of those later. Well, this is a fun path. Check this out. I hooked north a little bit, and then it was just this really long, straight path, straight due east. But it looks like it may have gotten us close to a couple of red exclamation points, so hopefully we'll be hitting those soon. In fact, let's just make sure. Ooh, yeah, it does lead to one. Alright, let's check this out. Okay, so we found a two-way tunnel. It leads right back to the starting point, which is fine, and it's two-way, so that means we made a nice big loop. I guess it doesn't matter which way we go, huh? Although we did have to activate it from the other side. But if we check north from here, there might be another red exclamation point. Indeed, there is. Strangest apology I've ever heard. Beautiful. It's funny, they call... What's her name? Nagai Iku? They call her an oarfish because of her long ribbonness. But considering the amount of frilliness present in so many of the characters' clothes... Marisa... Reimu... There's a lot of frilliness going on here. And I really feel like they just don't have a place to speak on this. But they do anyway, because it's Touhou. Wow, right after I start saying that it's really not fair to call her an oarfish, a bunch of oarfish gang up on us and beat the crap out of us. Talk about crazy. Well, here we are a little bit to the, I guess to the east of where we started in this level, and we've got another one of those blue barriers. It looks very symmetrical, whereas the levels 2 and 3 were very meandering and loopy around, kind of like you would expect from a forest. The design for this kind of fits more like a coral reef. A lot of small areas with, I guess you would call them symmetrical designs, symmetrical shapes, and lots of long, meandering or relatively straight paths with a couple of branches off of them. So it's kind of nice how they try to make things have a little symmetry here, a little asymmetry here, and kind of make the levels kind of fit the areas they're looking at. Anyway, just a little side note there. Hey, we found another treasure chest. Another one that we can open without using a key as well. So from that blue barrier to the east, I headed south, and it's just right over here. And we've got some nitroglycerin, which is something we've had one of before, I think. It's a nice little sub-item. So, onward. Hey, alright. We hooked down south, and then we headed west along this little area down here, all the way at the bottom of the level, and we've got ourselves a red exclamation point. Maybe even a green, maybe even a treasure chest. So that is 3 mysterious scraps of iron, and also a sort of a little bit of a callback to the. I think it's based in Shintoism, but there's a concept in Japanese culture called the Tsukumogami. What's her face? Kogasa is a Tsukumogami. She's an umbrella that was, managed to not be broken for 100 years or something like that. The idea is that if you have an object and it manages to be used well for a long period of time, that it can gain its own, soul or consciousness. And that's what that's what Kogasa is based on. And a lot of the times in the comics, the Touhou comics and stuff, you'll see this concept come to life, of regular things coming to life. So Marisa was kind of going off of that, but the fact that Reimu didn't pick up on it is, I think, indicative of Reimu's laziness more than anything else. Well, I somehow managed to not see this on the way in, but... Wrong button, sorry. If you head straight east, from that little barrier on the east, we got another red exclamation point over here. So let's check this out. Alright, looks like we got a solid lead on our next character to join. We've got Aya, Shame Maru Aya, who is tired of trying to catch up to the rest of the Tengu and going to join us if we can find 5 more monster species. So while we're working on that, we'll have to come back to her later on. Alright, we got another treasure chest over here. So, from the east side barrier area, I went north, and then a little bit east, and then looped north and west again. And here we find Kazu's amulet. So, more sub-equipment for us. Which is nice, because we use a lot of it. And we've got another one over here. So instead of hooking to the east, I hooked to the west. And this leads to another nice, easy to open treasure chest with, what, a heater muffler in it. Heater mufflers are going to be really nice in this area. And I'll explain why. A lot of the enemies, especially in like levels 5 and 6-ish, where we're going to be getting even more ice-based enemies, heater mufflers are a strong defense against cold. So these will be absolutely useful, and we will want to hoard them for our front lines. And anyone who's weak against cold. I love it. We've got another red exclamation point. So, I headed north from the start of the level, and then from there I branched out to the east. As you can see, we're way over on the east, near the north end of maybe the level? I don't know. This one seems like it's pretty big, huh? Look at that. But we got another red exclamation point, and let's see who it is. So there we've met up with Kainbyo Rin, or Orin, as she's often called. She works with the Komeiji sisters down at the Palace of Earth Spirits, which I can't remember the name in Japanese offhand, but I'll remember it later, I'm sure. Alright, let's move on. Hey, we've got another one. Maybe this is Utsuho. It is not. Poor Mailing, huh? It's funny that Remilia managed to make it into this area, which seems to be the epitome of running water, huh? Oh well, I guess. Yeah, Komakyo vampires don't follow the same rules. So I just thought I would show this real quick. I've been doing a pretty good job of rotating people around in this expedition, and so you can see I've got a bunch of people with low TP levels, but some of them have their MP used up, and we've managed to make it quite a few fights in this dungeon without having anybody have to leave the party, at least for this run. So, good so far. Ooh, this is interesting. So, by heading north and then hooking off to the east, we're at the far northeast corner, maybe, of the level. And we've got a relay point, which is nice. And a little area here, and a level 17 boss, which we are not yet ready for. Our average level is 15 right now, so we'll be ready for this soon, but not yet. So, with that in mind, let's keep exploring. It's worth noting that despite Komachi having a lot of physical type skills, that is one spirit type skill that actually is pretty darn good. Oh, so here we are. I had to leave the dungeon because Rinosuke ran out of TP, but we came back, and instead of heading north, I headed west. And I headed west, and then I headed south, and as you can see, there's a treasure chest here, but it's a special one that requires a key. So we won't be opening this yet, but we'll keep it in mind, and it'll be on the map in case we decide to start using up our treasure chest keys, but in general, we're going to want to save those as long as we can, so off we go. Yikes, that Lazuli Knight does not mess around. And there goes most of our TP, too. Maybe we can get to that treasure chest over to the west. Indeed we did. Material, Magic Bird's Crest ×4. So that's always nice. And this area just kind of blots out. North of the barrier area on the west side of the level, we've got another treasure chest. Here we have a Chargin' Targe. A Targe is a small shield, I believe. So this is a shield that you're supposed to charge people with? Or is it actually good for dealing with electric attacks? Let's find out. Fire! It's fire defense. Well, that's useful. Maybe not necessarily useful in this area, but definitely useful somewhere. So, well, we'll hang on to it. Well, look what we have here. We have a level 15 boss. And I, of course, have been leveling up normally whenever we headed back to town. So we're actually overpowered for this guy. But we found him, and so we'll be able to, well, de-level and come back later, I guess. But as usual, my strategy is to finish exploring first, just to make sure that we don't, like, miss out on some things that might help us win this battle. So, let's continue exploring, and hopefully we find some more good items or red exclamation points. Hey, another treasure chest. One that we can open, too. So, instead of, so after heading a little bit north from the entry, there's this big rectangle you can see in the middle of the level. Heading west from there, we've got a few areas to visit, but the first thing that we ended up going to was this treasure chest. And it drops a violent green rupee. I wonder if that's a Legend of Zelda reference? Looks like we got another treasure chest over here, too. You know, if it's not like some kind of horrible... There we go. Bam. Love Machine 3322. I mean, the more the merrier with some equipment. The better we can tune things and fight bosses, right? Over here, we're now to the southeast of that giant rectangle of emptiness in this level. I'm sure there's things in there, but just because of the way it looks on the map, I'm just locating us that way. But we've got another treasure chest, one that we can open, and we've got a Sword of Singing Delusion, which is nice. Alright, over here on the far west side of the level, again, heading west from that big rectangle in the middle of the map, you can see we got another treasure chest. And we've got Bone Stake sub-equipment. We've got one of these before, so this is... I mean, they're still nice items. Well, I figured that while we're here, we may as well check and see what we can actually find in this big empty rectangle. It looks like we got 2 staircases upward, but I feel like it's not going to be that easy, huh? In fact, it's not. Just nothing, huh? Beautiful. So there's something I want to actually show here that I think is worth noting, and I think I've said it before, but I think I can say it a little bit more clearly here. Check out the description of all of Youmuu's attacks. They're all direct attacks, and I believe that what that means is that for the enemy that it's hitting, it looks at their defense rather than their mind, MND, right? So we're going to expect all of her attacks to be pretty weak against these things because they both have really high defense. Reimu's not the best example, but we can see that some of her stuff is a composite direct attack, some is auxiliary actions. And then if we look at Komachi, she's got some direct attacks, and she's got a magic attack, the Narrow Confines of Avicii, which, as I've said before, is a really useful spell. So that is going to attack this thing's mind, and even though it got an instant death anyway. So keep in mind that if you want to know what kind of defense you're up against, look at the ability, look at the type of the what do you call it? Defense, or look at the type of attack, direct or magic. Uh-oh, you see that over on the west side of the screen? We've got an FOE on this level, and if I remember correctly, it's quite difficult. Since we haven't even managed to take out the FOE from the previous level, we're going to be avoiding this thing like the death that it is, but it actually has a pretty territorial behavior, and so we need to stay quite far away from it to prevent it from running at us. And yes, they will run at you over empty space where there's no place for you to run. So be sure not to get cornered by those things. By the way, just to kind of clear things up, we're over here on the northwest side of the level, so watch out for that. Despite her reputation as being lazy, Komachi is quite quick, she has really good attack, and in addition to that, she has some of the most TP of any of the characters that I think she has the most TP of any of the characters we've met so far, so she's really good for long slogs in the dungeon. So, you saw what I did there. I just barely avoided a run-in with the FOE. And that allows us to wander off in this direction a little bit. And what we actually managed to find are stairs up to level 5, which we won't be taking quite yet. As you can see, we're way in the far northwest corner of the level. But that FOE is indeed trouble for us. I'm also noticing that Komachi's hit points are through the roof. Up here in the very far north of the level, we got a little treasure chest that contains a light staff. Oh wow, this is a little bit of a surprise. I thought that level 15 boss that we saw earlier, by the way, we're up in the northwest area of the level, was the easiest boss we were going to find in this area, but in fact we've got a level 14 boss as well. So we're going to have to do some serious leveling down in order to get to the right level to fight this thing. But, oh yeah, we can't get to that treasure chest either. Well, we'll come back when we're ready to deal with some bosses. This is where we're going to want to come first. Although I guess the order doesn't matter that much, considering that we can just unlevel and re-level as much as we want. From the north end of the level, we've hooked over... From the northwest end of the level, we've hooked over to the east, and we've got another treasure chest over here. Inside is a steadfast ring. Pretty sure those are actually kind of good. I mean, we'll look at it in more detail later, but... anyway, good little treasure chest. And in fact, I may have spoke too soon. It looks like we've mostly cleared out all of the exploration areas in the level. So I think now what the next thing to do is probably to check out that level 14 boss and see if we can take them out. May as well, right? So what I'll do is I'll head back to town, get everybody rested, get everybody leveled down to 14, and we'll try to make it over to that boss in as few fights as possible, because the enemies are going to get tough if we dawdle. So here we are. We're leveled down to 14. I took the relay point from the north end of the level instead. We only had to fight one fight on the way here, so we're actually pretty close to fresh. And we have plenty of TP to throw a rest down. So let's try this boss out and see what we've got. I think the word diplomacy doesn't exist in Gensokyo. It's so fast, it's ridiculous. I don't even feel like retrying that. That was ridiculous. We're going to return to Gensokyo, switch our equipment up, and try again after fixing that. I think that was all physical attacks. I'll double check that, but yeah, wow. So, a little aside here, we're going to hop into Nidori's workshop real quick, and we're going to do some equipment creation, if we can. I'm not sure what we can actually make. So, since Shanghai Doll is a mostly physical attack, what we're going to hope for is hope that we can get like a lucky horseshoe, which we cannot. We need thorny seeds for that. But we just need to try to increase our physical defense as much as possible. As you can see, there's a total of 48 things right now that we have at least seen the stuff needed to make. But we don't have an infinite amount of materials, so we kind of have to get use what we can get. And some of the stuff is actually pretty rare, so you have to watch out that you don't use up really, really good stuff. In fact, before I actually buy into this stuff, I think I'm going to go back over to the bestiary and check that things get dropped, and that's going to take some time. So I'm going to cut it here, and when we come back, we should hopefully be ready to take on Shanghai Doll. So a little side note here, we actually picked up an achievement for playtime, I think. So we've made it to 10 hours, at least I have, and we get 5,000 money for that. Congratulations on 10 hours of playtime. Here's some more money. 30 hours gets us 30,000. 60 hours, yeah. Anyway, we're making general progress, but I'm still trying to figure out some of the material stuff and get everybody ready to have good physical defense, so still working on it. They gave us another achievement. I'm doing nothing and I'm getting achievements. What do we get here? Have more than 10,000 money at once. You get a tin watering can. If the wallet gets richer, maybe the heart grows richer too. Whatever you say, game. Wealthy party, huh? So, another achievement for us. You're not gonna believe this. I walked out of the achievement screen for the hey, you got 10,000 money, and I got another freaking achievement. Novice Collector, 10 different main equipments, treasure chest key. Nothing to worry about. Next is for 20 different main equipments, so then 30, then 40. Anyway, it just keeps going. They keep throwing achievements at me, and I'm not doing anything. I'm just looking at menus. So I made something over at Nidori's shop, and I got an achievement. First craft, create one piece of equipment, money plus 200. How do small children manage to disassemble an entire wall clock? So the more you create, the assumedly more money you get. 100 pieces. 12 or more item drops in a single dungeon dive. I feel like I've already gotten that, no? Oh well. Alright, continuing. Alright, here we are again. This is my next attempt at the boss. I've done what I can without too much ridiculous grinding. I'll just kind of give you a little bit of an overview of how I set this up. First off, I put people with high defense, these three in particular, and high physical defense in the front line. Second, I put Chirno in the front line because she can slow enemies down with her spells. I'll put her in, slow things down, move someone else in as quickly as possible. Then, I changed equipments. First off, I went to Nidori's shop and I bought a bunch of long fall boots. These increase evade a lot. I put them on everybody. I bought enough for everybody, and I guess I'll put them on everybody, because why not? But if you recall, that machine gun attack that hits the whole front row, it has a fairly high chance to miss, so we can bring its damage down pretty significantly this way. The other thing I did was I tried to put items like Lucky Horseshoe and Bludgeon on everybody in the front row. To at least get their physical up as high as possible, And then I focused on attack and defense, because this is going to be a very attack-heavy team. And the rest of the team, well, they kind of have the dregs, but that's just how it's going to have to be, I guess. So anyway, let's give this a shot, and see if we can take this out. Oh, by the way, this is the same dialogue. So I'm just going to go through it quickly, because we've already seen it. And we still lost. We'll retry it once. we're going to need more horseshoes. So I'm going to grind for a little while and get some items. And, yeah, we'll be back when I think I might be ready for this. So, I was thinking, we're having trouble with that level 14 boss. But, we all have enough experience that we can go to level 15 instead, right? Now, here's the thing. We don't necessarily need to beat the bosses in order. So I'm going to try throwing a little effort at the level 15 boss, and we'll see how that goes, is what I'm thinking. So, where do I need to go? Floor 4? I think it's this one, right up here. Yeah, you're a level 15 boss. Alright, let's check our formation. Make sure we have a good... Because I don't know what we're actually up against here, so we're going to find out. So, this might get us Wriggle, and this might be really good for us. Nope. And it wasn't even really that close, was it? Let's try it once more, just to see what happens. Alright, second time's the charm. And this is great because... So, I already had an idea about this, and of course I didn't have both of the things, so I wasn't able to do it before. Unless we've got ourselves another achievement. Let's check that out. Apprentice Encyclopedia Girl. Gather data on 30 enemies. Hey, we've got 30 enemies. Yeah, very good. So, I think we need to head to what? Floor 2... Where was it? Was it floor 3? Negative. It must be one floor down, huh? Let's check floor 2 center. This might be the wrong... Okay, this is the wrong... Oh, there's an easier way to do this. I'm dumb. Okay. They give you a lot of relay points, and so it becomes very much an effort to figure out the most efficient way to get somewhere. But this is the most efficient way to get over to... Erin. Yeah, not even a fight. Here we go. That is exactly how we wanted that to go. Let's head up. Or no, we're on 2, so... No, we need to head to... We need to head to 3. Then head to the southwest corner of 3? So that's another advantage of the leveling system, right? Is that we can choose what order we fight the bosses in. We can, by result of that, we can set up some strategies that otherwise would be more difficult to set up. And these guys should not provide too much... Well, Cherno's not the person to fight these. Reimu is. Wriggle, don't complain that it's not fair. This is how RPGs work. We've got another achievement here. May as well just check out what this is. Gather 12 party members. The real hell begins here. 24, 36, 48. I love this game. Oh, goodness. Let's see. We'll go to the human village, and we will change members, and we will get Wriggle on our team. And we will register this as a favorite temporary for the time being. And we'll level her up. We're all 15 right now, so we may as well level up to 15 this way. And then, what, we've got 14 points to play around with? She's a physical attack type. Something like, not that. Something like that I think is reasonable. And then, we can also check out her skills. She's got 17 points to play around with. So what are her special skills? Well, she's a member of Team 9, which is nice. She can inhale poison. It's a health restoration skill for any ally affected by poison. Reduces the effect of poison on people in front. That's pretty good. Kodoku Queen. The more allies or foes affected by poison, the more the user's stats increase. That's very good. Toxic Vaccine lowers the chance for allies to be affected by poison by 20% times the number of levels. So up to 40, because there's only 2 levels allowed. HP reduction reduced by the same percent. Lowering all stats slightly would be nullified. While user in front, damage against insect enemies increases. Does not stack with similar effects. And then if the user received a direct attack from an enemy, the user has a chance to counter with an attack that inflicts poison and paralysis. Well, we'll put some points into that, I think, yeah? And then... and maybe that? And then what? Should we give her a little evasion boost? Yeah, evasion boost. Okay. Now, and you may recall, we did pick up an achievement for getting 30 monsters, so that means we've got another person who's willing to join us, or will be in just a second. Alright, this should be Aya. Alright, now we have 13 characters, which means we can start playing around with our team and choosing only the best characters for a specific purpose. Let's see. So that's pretty good. That gets us about where we want to be for now. We've taken out one boss. We got Wriggle. We got Aya. We need to level up Aya, who's even lower down than Wriggle somehow, right? Now she's a physical attack type. Weak defense, very high speed. So we'll level out her stats a little bit there. We can also check her skills. She's not in the party, so we can't check her skills without putting her in the party. Who should we switch out? Let's switch out Cherno. Pop in Aya. And take a look at her skills. HP, attack, and evasion boost. All good skills. Then we have 4 spell cards, as well as Nimble. Speed debuffs are calculated as buffs. She gets a very good chance of starting a battle with her ATB bar all the way up. Upon the user's turn, all allies have speed increased. This will be very good. Wind damage reduced. And when the user kills an enemy, the user will be able to act again immediately. This is very good in fights with weak enemies because you can just take out a whole group of enemies with no issues. So let's see, what do we want? We may as well top that out. It's too good. And then, gosh. Probably that. That way, the user gets the turn. The user has a good chance of getting the turn right at the start, and then boosting everybody else's speed. So this is a good combo to start. And what I'm learning is that these passive skills or these background skills are in general really, really good. So we're probably going to re-spec a lot of our character skill points into these skills as time goes on. But for now, we're doing pretty good. Alright, here we are again. We've changed our party around a little bit, we've redone our equipment a bit, and we're back down at level 14. And we didn't even fight a single enemy along here, so here we go! So Wriggle got to do some poison damage, but then she was immediately killed. Well, poison is helpful in this fight because the enemy is weak to it, and it does lots of damage. So we'll see if this gets us anywhere. We'll do a retry too if we get around to it. It's so fast and it does so much damage. Clearly we need to do something different. Also this. So that would be 12 knockouts for us, and that's the prize. A meddlesome person will come. Pink and bandages, seal of annoyance. Can you fight for 24 hours? Very nice. So Kassen's another attack-type character. But but she has decent defense and decent hit points. And not too bad of speed either. Let's see, her skills. HP and TP boosts. Speed boost. Okay, she can guide animals. Damage against beast enemies increases. If a user gets KO'd, there's a good chance that 10 TP will be consumed and the character will stay alive with 1 hit point. Possibly useful. Fighting Spirit. Every time the user takes action, Fighting Spirit goes up by 1. Damage dealt is increased and damage taken is reduced by 5% per Fighting Spirit. Resets to 0 if the user retreats to the back. Maxes out at S level times 3. So it maxes out at a maximum, like total maximum, 6. Because it maxes out at level 2. Debuffs or ailments increase damage. Silence effects get added to all attacks. Shock effects get added to all attacks. And then she's got 4 spell cards to play around with. So for now, I'll actually have to think about what to throw onto her, because it's not immediately obvious what we want to do here. Probably ability to guide animals is going to be good. But speed boost is good too. Anyway, that is Kasen's skills. And yeah, we've still got to figure out how to beat that level 14 boss. But that's okay. We now have more characters to play around with. Of course, we have to equip them now. But we'll keep plugging away at it, and eventually I'll figure it out and we'll show that boss fight. Alright, I was doing a little bit of just kind of grinding for stuff, materials, and we got High-Speed Item Grabber. Get 12 or more item drops in a single dungeon dive, for which we got a Tome of Insight attack. So, good stuff. 36, 100 battle points, 1,000 battle points. Yeah, there's still a lot to do. So, yeah, just another achievement to show. Alright, did a little bit of grinding, did a little bit of skill wrangling. I think we might have a pretty good chance this time, so we're going to try this 14 level boss again and see what happens. Okay, that time we were really close. I'm gonna keep trying, and we're gonna get this. Finally. That is the level 14 boss, Alice's Doll version 2, and we finally beat her after basically spamming the retry function. I'm probably going to cut out most of that, so you'll see a couple of losses and the win, but there we are. Mostly luck. Because, well, okay. So that attack that the doll uses hits everybody. It's heavy physical. It does around 300 to 400 damage, which is enough to take out pretty much anyone with low hit points. Here's the problem. The damage that it does decreases the number of characters that it hits down the line. Kind of like a boomerang in Dragon Quest. But if it misses the people in front who have high defense, then it hits the people in back hard. So, there's a lot of random wins and losses and misses and damage that it does. But anyway, we managed to take that doll out, and we're going to keep moving forward. Alright, so we beat the doll, finally. That's the level 14 boss. The other one is level 17. We'll probably cut this episode off here. I've already done a lot of recording, and I have a lot of stuff to cut and play around with. So we're almost done with Floor 4. We'll finish Floor 4 next time, and then we'll move up to Floor 5. So yeah, as always, I hope you enjoyed this. Finally, we got some extra characters. Now we have the full party plus a couple. So we have a lot of things to play around with and skills to learn. So, with that all said, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll see y'all next time.